fight isn't with you.
When I want your opinion, I'll take Wolverine's out of your mouth.
That's kid. Guiltily, that is my daughter.
What Ryan Reynolds forced his daughter to do on Deadpool is one of the most abhorrent things I have ever heard of.
There is actually no difference between Ryan Reynolds in Deadpool and Ryan Reynolds. That's the reason why the character is successful. It's actually him. And what better way to become successful than really just playing yourself?
Ryan Reynolds has built a reputation as Hollywood's funny guy, but is there something much darker lurking beneath the surface? Fans are starting to connect the dots, and what they're finding is disturbing, especially when it comes to his relationship with his daughter, Inez. Yeah, it turns out when it comes to being a world-class narcissist, Ryan doesn't even spare his kids. Fans were dead sure of it after they watched a Deadpool scene between Ryan and Inez. And to make things worse, Justin Baldoni is adding fuel to the fire by exposing how the actor works behind the scenes. And honestly, fans can see the pattern now. Just what happened? Does Ryan really have a creepy relationship with his daughter? Let's find out.
What really bugs me about this is narcissistic. He wanted him to feel alone and like he had no one on his side.
So it looks like Ryan's a narcissist to everyone in his life, including his kids. How do fans know that? Well, her daughter Inez had a small role as Kidpool in the 2024 movie Deadpool and Wolverine. And Ryan's been making posts about what it was like working with his daughter behind the scenes. Now fans expected cute scenes, but what they discovered is downright horrifying. Internet detectives picked up on the creepy behavior when Ryan made this post on Facebook. He uploaded a behind-the-scenes photo with his daughter, along with the caption, "Only co-star I argued with. Most people think Kid Pool is the dirtiest, but she's also pretty good at backtalk and never taking out the trash." The fact that Ryan would use the word dirty for his own daughter is downright despicable. And look at the general tone of the post. Instead of appreciating his daughter, he instead chooses to drag her. Honestly, that wasn't surprising for some fans since Ryan has always made it a point to disrespect the women in his life. Just look at how he talks about Blake Lively. Back in August 2019, he posted a photo of himself next to a painting by Los Angeles-based artist Danny Galliotti that Lively had commissioned for him. And in the caption, he went on a rant about why the painting was the greatest gift he had gotten. "My first job was delivering newspapers for the Vancouver Sun. The house in the painting is my childhood home. There are a lot of Easter eggs in the painting, including my idol, John Candy, on the front page of the newspaper. This piece of art is the greatest present my wife has ever given me." However, the way he ended that post had people side-eyeing him. He wrote, "If there's ever a fire, I'm grabbing this first. I'll come back for Blake." And get this, during an interview on The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon back in 2019, Ryan talked about Blake stealing his thunder just because he was pregnant. Fallon asked him about how Ryan had been secretive about Blake's pregnancy the last time they met.
Last time we talked in this program,
Yeah.
it was, we were talking about Detective Pikachu. Yeah. And I said to you, I go, "Oh my gosh." I go, "Ryan, what's up, man? What's going on?" And you said to me, "Not much."
Not much, no.
No,
Yeah.
not much. It was great. We had a
Wasn't a
fun
ton
talk.
going on, yeah.
It was really fun. And then after that, you went right to the premiere.
Yep.
And I got a Google alert saying that Blake is pregnant.
Oh.
And here's what he had to say in response. "Nobody was more surprised than me, Jimmy. I thought the fact that I was wearing a denim vest would be all the rage. But then Blake shows up, and uninvited, might I add, and I thought she was just pounding beer, but it turns out she's like 6 months pregnant. I've got to start being more hands-on at home."
It's going to be the denim vest. It wasn't.
No, I thought that was going to be the lead story, but that was going to be the big Google alert.
It's almost like he was bitter about the situation. It's sick. That said, it looks like the only woman Ryan does respect in his life is his mom. She even joined him when Ryan did a skit where he dragged Blake's love interest, Brandon Sklenar, from It Ends With Us. And to be fair, that was a train wreck as well. However, fans did conclude that Ryan's mom didn't mind his attitude.
It's not every day the husband gets to interview his wife's love interest in a film. It's kind of crazy.
I don't remember seeing this on the schedule.
Dive in, shall we?
Well, it's not every day the mother-in-law of the leading lady gets to interview the love interest, and the man trying to replace my sweet little gummy bear, Ryan. Let's dive in, shall we?
Can we not dive in?
I was expecting not to like him.
No, yeah.
But he is so nice.
The nicest guy.
So funny, charming, kind.
Meanwhile, when it comes to the men in his life, Ryan's got nothing but praise for them, like his relationship with Hugh Jackman.
He's downplaying the hell out of that. Basically, everyone was done for the day. Like, this guy came over and I said, "I think I could have made that better." I learned more in my short stint working with this man on that movie than anything else in my entire career.
Mistreating Blake was one thing, but it seems like his behavior with his daughter isn't any better. In a commentary track for Deadpool and Wolverine Deadpool Course Scene, Ryan joined director of the movie, Sean Levy, to share some stories behind the scenes. And just take a look at this one clip involving his daughter.
Fight isn't with you! When I want your opinion, I'll take Wolverine's out of your mouth!
That's kid. Guiltily, that is my daughter.
The fact that Ryan had his daughter say something as vulgar as that is downright despicable. Whatever happened to protecting children and not exposing them to stuff like this? It seems like Ryan doesn't care about stuff like that as long as his needs are being met. And if you thought that was bad, well, wait till you check out this next clip.
Father of the Year over here for allowing her to say such language, which, to her credit, she really didn't want to say, and then came back later and said, I want to say it now, when I started looking at other people to play it.
Yeah, it's no surprise that as a 7-year-old, Inez didn't want to say something so vulgar. Are we even sure she understood the meaning of what she was saying? Ryan's response to the situation should have been more understanding. He should have offered support and changed the line. But do you know what he did instead? He floated the idea of hiring someone else for the role.
Yeah, so they're saying that she didn't really want to say it. And then Ryan said that, you know, if you don't want to say this in this film, Daddy's gonna find someone else who will.
Imagine how crushed little Inez would have been upon hearing that. All she wanted to do was spend time with her dad on set, but there he was, making her jump through hoops. Some fans believe that's peak narcissist behavior.
See, when a narcissist, when they're trying to manipulate you, and you can see the starting young here in this situation.
And don't forget this part.
Ryan, to our discredit, we made Nezzy do I'm Not You 70 to 500 versions of that line.
I'm gonna pay for that later.
Blake Lively there as Lady Pool, Lady
Matthew
Deadpool.
McConaughey as Cowboy.
Having her daughter say something so vulgar on the screen was one thing, but making her practice 70 to 500 times, that's straight up ridiculous, and honestly a low for Ryan, Blake, and everyone else who allowed this to happen. One person wrote, "Whoa, I am speechless. 70 to 500 times? That's some form of child bleep." Number nope. This is beyond disgusting. I feel sick. Baldoni knows how to honor kids and pretty sure he or his wife would never allow their child to say anything like that. Movie or not, I hope the jury sees this to see how sick they truly are. Meanwhile, another person wrote, "Gosh, this is also why I never got into Deadpool because it is so degrading and disgusting. This is literally the icing on the cake for them and it's disturbing. I remember trying to watch the first one and immediately turned it off because it was awful and not funny to me at all." Honestly, fans should have picked up on the creepy behavior when Ryan said this about Inez's role at the New York premiere of the film in 2024. I hope that if I'm lucky, this moment will be the most traumatic thing, that is the contents of this movie, that happens in your wondrous life. It's clear that this man had no shame for how he treated this daughter. He's a narcissist to everyone around him. And even Scarlett Johansson, Ryan's ex-wife, pointed it out years ago. During a May 2016 interview with Cosmo, she said, "The logistics of being with another actor are challenging. There has to be real understanding of how you share your time, especially when two people's careers are going at the same rate. Or even if one person is more successful than the other, that also proves challenging." Insider reports about the couple's divorce made similar reports. They described Ryan as an overbearing control freak. One source also said this: when he wanted her there, he expected her to drop everything and come to him. She got tired of the double standard. And honestly, it doesn't sound like a stretch because what most people don't know is that Ryan has some daddy issues. He described his dad as the toughest man alive, a former cop, former boxer, and full-time landmine. He said, in a word, he was scary. Not because he was sadistic or physically. He was scary because he was one of those people with an energetic weight to him. Shifting his weight ever so slightly from one foot to another could transform an otherwise delightful 6th birthday party into what felt like an Irish funeral. He also said this during his appearance on the Smartless podcast. "It started as a kid. My household that I grew up in wasn't overly awful in the grand scheme of things, certainly as compared to some people, but my dad was never an easy person to be around." And of course, that made Ryan feel like everything in the house had to be perfect so his dad wouldn't lose his temper. Back in 2017, he told Variety, "I have 3 older brothers. Our father was tough. He wasn't easy on anyone, and he wasn't easy on himself. I think the anxiety might have started there, trying to find ways to control others by trying to control myself. At the time, I never recognized that. I was just a twitchy kid.
They stem from the fact that his father was always screaming. And we now know that Ryan's also a screamer, so he basically just became his dad. So that whole little scene about like his father and unresolved issues, yeah, it's looking like you might have just become who you allege your father was.
But honestly, no one expected Ryan to have that same behavior with his kids. That said, maybe fans can't control what goes on in his house. But at least Disney should have stepped in. However, get this, they didn't even think about removing the scene with Inez. Instead, the only Deadpool joke they did cut out was this one. Deadpool. There's 4. Wait, is it Magento? Dear sweet God in heaven, let it be Magneto, because with him. Billy, he's dead. Deadpool. F. What? We can't even afford one more X-Man. Disney is so cheap, I can barely breathe with all this Mickey Mouse bleep in my throat. Honestly, it's disappointing to know that the company has different priorities. Still, the fact that the actor has the audacity to call Justin a predator. Yeah, he recently filed a motion to dismiss Justin Baldoni's $400 million defamation lawsuit against him, and boy, did he stir the pot.
Breaking news, Ryan Reynolds files to dismiss from Justin Baldoni lawsuit. All right, what does this mean? Let's break it down. Has he won his case against Justin Baldoni? No. Have Blake or Ryan been dismissed from the lawsuit? No. This is all very standard, right? The New York Times has filed a motion to dismiss. Leslie Sloan, Blake's publicist, has filed a motion to dismiss.
See, Justin accused Reynolds of privately calling him a predator and working to get his talent agency, WME, to drop him in his defamation lawsuit. However, Ryan's lawyers, Michael Gottlieb and Ezra Hudson, told the Post that the Deadpool star could not have defamed Baldoni because Mr. Reynolds genuinely believes Mr. Baldoni is a predator. They also said, the entirety of Mr. Baldoni's case appears to be based on Mr. Reynolds allegedly privately calling Mr. Baldoni a predator. But here is the problem. That is not defamation unless they can show that Mr. Reynolds did not believe that statement to be true. And the complaint doesn't allege that, and just the opposite. The allegations in the complaint suggest that Mr. Reynolds genuinely believes Mr. Baldoni is a predator. Mr. Reynolds' wife has accused Mr. Baldoni privately and in multiple complaints of mistreatment and retaliation. And as pointed out by Mr. Reynolds' motion, Mr. Baldoni has also openly spoken about his past of mistreating women and pushing the boundaries of consent. And no, they didn't stop there because Gottlieb and Hudson further added, Mr. Reynolds has a First Amendment right to express his opinion of Mr. Baldoni, which should be comforting to a group of people who have repeatedly called Ms. Lively and Mr. Reynolds bullies and other names over the past year. And it looks like Ryan's using every resource in his arsenal to smear Justin's name because he even had a spokesperson say this. The claims filed against Mr. Reynolds are simply a list of grievances attempting to shame Mr. Reynolds for being the man Mr. Baldoni has built his brand pretending to be, a man who is confident enough to listen to the women in his life. Honestly, it looks like Ryan wants to avoid going to Discovery in any possible way.
But the interesting thing is Ryan Reynolds is trying to distance himself. He's trying to get dismissed from this lawsuit, but I mean, he's basically like, Judge, let me out. Leave my wife in it, but let me out, which is, I don't know, it's just kind of funny.
Of course, Justin didn't take any of it lying down. He had his lawyer, Brian Friedman, blast the actor's underhanded tactics, saying, Mr. Reynolds' exploitation of his enormous power in Hollywood continues, this time arrogantly asking to be dismissed from the case, despite his publicly documented involvement extending far beyond just being a supportive spouse. Mr. Reynolds was a key player in the scheme, defaming Justin around Hollywood, strong-arming WME into dropping Justin as a client, and trying to destroy Justin's career however possible. His fingerprints have been all over this smear campaign against Justin and the Wayfarer team since day one. He also said, Mr. Reynolds now attempts to reduce plainly cognizable claims to hurt feelings, sending a clear message that is acceptable. After lighting a match, Mr. Reynolds now seeks to run from the flames. It won't work. The Wayfarer party's claims against him are real, and they are serious. Mr. Reynolds can appear on as many sketch shows as he wants and feebly try to make light of his current situation. But we will not stop until he is held accountable for his actions. And Brian's right. Ryan can't get away with that easily. WME has only gone on record saying that they fired Justin because of Ryan.
Where Ari Emanuel basically said that Justin Baldoni was fired from WME and that he did this in support of Blake and Ryan Reynolds. Ari Emanuel said he is ride or die for Blake and Ryan. He also makes fun of Justin Baldoni's name by calling him Justin Baloney.
And get this, some fans think that Ryan's the root of this entire issue.
Ryan, I would say, in my opinion, is plausibly the most guilty party of this entire thing, okay? He has just been publicly humiliating Justin Baldoni as soon as he could, as many times as he could, and using as many A-list actors as he could.
So yeah, Ryan really needs to figure out and think about how fans are going to react when they find out everything. Maybe the public will even uncover more about how Ryan treats his kids. But what do you think? Is Ryan really a narcissist to his kids? And is there more that fans are going to uncover? Let us know what you think in the comment section below, and make sure to check out this next video.